Hi everyone, my name is Rich Griffith and I'm a retired athlete, current pastor, and I have the privilege of just sharing some tidbits with you today, and it's about overcoming negativity. Wow, I mean that's already a big concept because we're surrounded by negativity all the time. I mean, just in the world we live in, just seems like the media thrown at us and different people groups and just things and people we associate with. And it can have so many overtones and even undertones of being negative. And then you add your own personal life in the midst of that and just relationship with your spouse or relationship with your kids, your work life, and how easy it can be to fall in the trap of being negative. And then now this persona of negativity just begins to hang over you like a cloud. Now, I'll never forget growing up in the Peanuts cartoons, and Linus has this cloud around him, and at times that can be a cloud of negativity. And I've often been challenged in my own spiritual walk of how to guard that, and how to protect that area of my life because it can become contagious. Think about it. The more negative things I think about and the more negative things I can begin to dwell on and then even act out upon, I begin to do more and more of those, and they breed on each other. But now the converse, think about the difference. The more I dwell on positive things and the more I dwell on the things that can bring life to me, those also can begin to breed on each other and become a positive in my outlook. One of my favorite scriptures, and again, I hold myself to this conviction so often, and it's Colossians 3, right verse 1, set your heart on things above. Why? Because we now have the heart of Christ as followers of Jesus Christ. We have that new, transformed heart. So set now your heart on things above, no longer your old way of doing things. It also goes on to say in the next verse, also set your mind on things above. So we've given our hearts to God. We've experienced His resurrection in us. We've been restored. But there's still now that operating system of our flesh. And we have to also look at that differently. I got to set my mind on things above. And you say, all right, now you're giving me just the church answers and all those things. How does this play out? Friends, we have to take captive the things on our mind. Because I can follow into some bad habits, and before I know it, I'm at noon and I've already had some really bad thoughts about that person and I've had some really bad actions in these areas, and it just becomes a snowball. And so I must put my best foot forward starting in the morning, literally one step at a time, and that one step at a time builds one day at a time, 1 week at a time. And all of a sudden now we've begun to change this negative persona that's taking place within us. So I will give you a very specific verse that I do also, not only setting my heart and my mind on things above, but this is how I do this. Philippians chapter 4, and Paul just saying in his final instructions to these believers, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Friends, that's simply just how do we align my thinking and my willpower and the things that are happening around me, how do I align those to Christ? Paul gives us a glimpse of that. Think about these things. Dwell on these things. Make this a part of my everyday actions. And if it's the first thing I do when I put my feet on the floor of getting out of bed, to think about these things. I'm sorry, I've got to repeat them. Whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. Friends, we live in this world, but we're not of it. And we have the most excellent opportunity to portray Jesus Christ. And how we portray Jesus Christ is so much in how people see us. And if we're negative, friends, we're blending in. We're like camouflage, and we're looking like everybody else. But if we're positive, and if our outlook is different, that's being in this world, but it's not being of this world, because we're in Christ. And that sends an incredible message, friends. It sends a message. Something is different about you. And prayerfully, every one of us have had that comment. I don't know what it is, but something's different about you. It's Jesus. Let us portray Jesus. Cast off those negative thoughts, those negative actions, and let's have victory and overcome negativity. We do that through Jesus Christ.